All right, welcome to this week in rewards here on the Rewards Canada YouTube channel for the week of May 27th to June the 2nd. I want to thank everybody for tuning in this week, whether you're tuning in live or watching this after the fact. Be sure you subscribe to our channel so you can get notifications. Hit that bell button so you can be notified when we do go live with this stream every week, or we try to every week at least. Has been successful so far. And be sure to hit that like button. The more likes we get, the more it gets out there and the more viewers we get. So why don't we get started with today's episode? And there was quite a bit. I mean, it's the beginning of the month, right? So there seems to be news coming out always at the start of the month, lots of new bonus offers and everything. I think next week we'll cover more of the bonus offers. There's enough to cover this week with some of the news and credit card things that came out. And we're going to start off with the big news that just came out on Thursday, June 1st, and that was Bank of Montreal, BMO, completing the acquisition of Air Miles. Yes, BMO now officially owns the Air Miles program. So now we're just going to wait and see what Bank of Montreal is going to do. They're promising that they're going to be more ways to earn miles. They're going to revamp the whole travel booking, which is interesting because travel booking they just revamped that just not too long ago when they did the big change to Air Miles. What was it, the end of 2021 there, when they revamped the whole Air Miles flights program to allow for flights worldwide. You know, you could redeem for things like first class, business class, all those things. But the one thing they didn't do, which I'm hoping Bank of Montreal does do, is partial payment, points and miles and cash. I always say points and cash, but cash and miles. So if you don't have enough Air Miles, that they'll give you an option to do a partial redemption. I think that's something that's been sorely lacking in that program. I mean, everybody else has gone the route of having the partial payment options. Even Aeroplan, you can choose how many Aeroplan miles you want to redeem. They give you a certain, four or five different levels of miles you can redeem and varying cash amounts. And then all the proprietary credit card programs are pretty much, it'll let you do any sort of option of points in cash. So that's something I'm hoping that Air Miles does, or at least Bank of Montreal with the revamp of the program, that they give that partial redemption option. I think they would see a lot more people redeeming miles and redeeming for travel. And of course, they're going to get some money back because they earn commissions on the flights and hotels and those type of things. So that would be ideal if they started a partial redemption option for their flights. So fingers crossed. Right now it's still too early to say anything because they have not, it was just approved yesterday. I'm sure there's some things going on behind the scenes. I mean, they've already said, Bank of Montreal said, you're going to earn miles for scanning receipts. So that's kind of like your Checkout 51 app where you get a little bit of rewards for showing what you purchased afterwards. So they're going to, Air Miles is going to start doing that. They said there's going to be more ways to earn miles on travel. So I'll be really curious to see what they do. I mean, we all know that Bank of Montreal doesn't have the best reputation with their own programs. They've devalued them, time and time again. So I'll be really curious to see what they do with Air Miles. And they say more partners. That really surprised me. I don't know who they can add, in terms of big names of partners. They've lost all the big names, and a lot of those big names have gone to other programs or started their own. So it's really tough to see if there'll be new partners that Bank of Montreal will be adding to or be able to, if they have the prowess or power to add more partners to the Air Miles program that Air Miles themselves weren't able to. So another thing, just right now it's going to be a wait and see game. We're going to see what's going to happen between, I guess, the next 4 to 6 months. I don't expect to see too much happening in the next couple weeks, but I'm sure as summer comes along, we'll see some more details come along from Bank of Montreal and Air Miles. And for me, I don't know if you guys are watching and want to ask some questions, or if you have ideas, even just hit the chat there. You have to subscribe. You only have to subscribe for a minute, and then you can start typing your questions or comments in the chat. What do you guys think? Who do you foresee as Air Miles and Bank of Montreal being able to add as partners? And are we going to lose more partners? Like, now that Bank of Montreal owns it, do we think we're going to lose American Express? I mean, American Express is no longer taking applications for the Air Miles cards. They're still supporting the cards, but are they going to lose Amex as a partner? So, I mean, these are a lot of questions to be asked. and we're going to have to try and find, hopefully the answers to them before we know it. Yeah, so once again, Bank of Montreal's completed the acquisition of Air Miles. They're now the proud owners of the Air Miles program. I mean, I think this was expected. I mean, there was uncertainty because we didn't know if any other suitors would come along. Looks like nobody else came along, at least not publicly. And I think this was actually middle of May that the bankruptcy courts actually approved, Bank of Montreal's takeover, but it was official as of June 1st. So there we go. So Bank of Montreal now has BMO rewards and Air Miles in their pockets as loyalty programs. And that's the other thing. Will we see those two programs combined in the future? Possibly. Who knows? I feel like Air Miles is their bigger portfolio for credit cards versus their proprietary ones. I mean, they've been trying with the proprietary cards. And that brings me right into the next thing for this week. And that was I put up a review of the BMO Eclipse Visa Infinite Privilege card. I've had a review of the basic, not basic, but Visa Infinite card on the site for quite a while, but now I finished the Privilege card. I think, if you guys have followed Rewards Canada long enough and are very in tune with the points and miles industry and everything, that these were surprising cards when they came out, highly lauded as 5 times points cards, but their redemption ratio really affected it. And then 6 months after being launched, they even devalued that even more. So, it's really hard getting behind these cards. But the fact of the matter is that the Infinite Privilege, being only a $499 ultra premium card, almost pays for itself annually with its $200 annual lifestyle credit. Basically, you make a purchase of $200 more and you're going to get a credit at the start of the year for that. And it's lounge access. If you can use up all 6 passes per year, pretty much pays for the card itself. Your annual fee covers all of that. But the hard part I have is the base earn rate. You guys have heard me say this before. Any premium cards should not have a base earn rate with a value below 1%. In fact, this is an ultra premium card that has that. It earns like 0.67% unless you add a supplementary card, and then it's only, what is it, like 0.83% that it earns as a base earn rate, which is, for a card that you're paying $500 a year, if you're not using up all those benefits, that's very low. There's no fee cards that earn more than that. When BMO brought out these cards, that was one of the first things. It's like, why? Why do they have the base earn rate below 1% on the Visa Infinite and Visa Infinite Privilege Eclipse cards? It just, makes no sense. I mean, I think basically they're trying to push it on those 5 times points. You've seen their advertising. You've seen my articles about, calling them out on the 5 times points advertising without letting people know what the actual value of the points are. So, I mean, this review is actually kind of easy to write. What's good about the card, what's not so good about the card. What's good is that $200 lifestyle credit. The lounge access is really good. But the bad parts are the base earn rate, the welcome bonus too. I mean, you have to spend $100,000 over the course of 12 months to earn the whole bonus. And it's not even worth that much. $100,000, 6 figures. That's the only card I can think of outside of maybe like the, private Centurion cards. You just have to spend a lot, not to get a welcome bonus, but you just have to spend a lot to be able to, get that card. So here you have this Visa Infinite Privilege card, which, a decent amount of Canadians can still apply for, but they want you spending $100,000 on it to get the whole bonus, and it's not very big. You can easily do multiple cards with multiple bonuses for that type of spend over a year. So that's something else to take into account. But I do have to say the one thing that this card does well is if you do get that supplementary card, it gives you a 25% off bonus on all the points you earn. I don't believe it's capped either. So in terms of travel, because this card earns 5 points per travel, which is a 3% return, adding that 25% in puts you at like 4.17% return towards on travel purchases. And that's one of the best in Canada. So they have these little things in the card that seem to do well, but as a whole, the card itself just doesn't do it. I think the first year it came out, I did rank it I think it was 5th in the ultra premium category, but it quickly dropped out of there when other cards came along. I just can't rank it as a top 5 ultra premium card because of that low base earn rate, high spend to get the bonus, and so on. yeah, so check out the review. Like I said, I'll always have the links down in the description to everything we covered in today's episode. If you have any questions, please ask in the chat. I am watching the chat here. I haven't seen any questions yet. I know sometimes you guys do, sometimes you don't. So hopefully we'll have somebody come on and ask us a question or provide commentary on the things we're talking about, or you can ask me about anything else with loyalty and credit cards and travel. It doesn't have to be the things we're covering in today's episode. So now we've covered those, why don't we move into the new lounge that opened in Toronto, at Toronto City Centre Airport, the Island Airport. There's got so many different names, which is, I think it's officially now Billy Bishop Toronto Centre Airport. So Swissport, which runs the Aspire lounges worldwide, a few in Canada here, 2 in Calgary, 1 in Ottawa, the National Bank Lounge in Montreal. They opened this lounge in conjunction with Air Canada. They teamed up. This is Air Canada's first partnership for a lounge, a business class lounge, to open this lounge at the City Centre Airport. Now it is open not just to Air Canada customers, like 50K and up or business class customers. It is open also to Dragon Pass, Priority Pass, pretty much all the ones that Swissport allows into their lounges, which is majority of the lounge access programs. So if you have a credit card with Dragon Pass, like the MasterCard Travel Pass or Visa Airport Companion, you can access this lounge as well. I'll put up, here's some photos of it you can check out. This is from the opening party on Thursday, June 1st. Jeff Fredericks, who you may recall from Rewards Canada's podcast, he attended the event, took some photos. These are just a few. He put up a photo tour on the blog, so you can go to the blog, and I'll link to it at the bottom, and you can go check out all the photos he took from this event. He had a good chat with Mark Nasser from Air Canada, which will actually, I think we're going to try and feature in a podcast next week, so be sure to check that out. They're really excited about this lounge, number one, because Air Canada is growing their presence there. I mean, Ottawa flights will be restarting up right now. They're just flying to Montreal from City Centre Airport. But the good thing is, even if you're flying Porter, and if you have a connection, or not connection, but one of the credit cards that allows you to enter it, if you're flying Porter, you can access this lounge as long as you have your Dragon Pass, Priority Pass, all that type of stuff. So just a great addition for an airport that is getting busier. It's on the domestic side, so I know there's talk of that U.S. airline, Connect Airlines, I believe they're called, about serving the City Centre Airport there. I'm not sure. I don't believe you'll be able to access the lounge then if you're on the U.S. side, because it is on the domestic side. So this is really exciting. So the one thing that Jeff and Mark really discussed was that even though you get 3 hours of access, or even more if you're Air Canada customer, a lot of people will be going to this lounge just quickly because it's an Air Canada Café. It's just like the Air Canada Café at Toronto Pearson. It's kind of a quick jaunt. You can pick up stuff, and they think what's going to be very popular are the grab and go options. So here's some pictures of the things that they have. You can grab coffee, pastries, those type of things to take with you on your flight. Because this is the Centre Airport, right? This is Toronto Island Airport. It's right by downtown. I don't think a lot of people will be going multiple hours ahead. This is really the convenience of this airport is convenience. It's to be there as little time as possible, get on your flight, go to Montreal, Ottawa, those type of places. Or if you're flying Porter, multiple other locations. But so you can quickly go in, show your access to the lounge, grab yourself a coffee, a drink, pastries, all the stuff, and it will all be there for you, to easily to take onto your flights. So I'd love to hear other people, if you've actually accessed the lounge, because it is open, or if you will be, let us know what you think of the lounge. And hopefully we'll have a full review of it outside of this opening event kind of photo tour that Jeff did of the lounge. And now, so we just got a couple more things to cover in this episode. But I said, if you are watching, be sure you subscribe, hit that like button. The more people we get watching, the more we'll do this. I actually enjoy doing these live, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Be sure to ask questions if you can, or want to comment on things. The big news, or not big news, I guess the next kind of news this week was Air France KLM's promo rewards. The next batch came out this month, and it was again, we have Canadian cities. I think this is the third month in a row that Canadian cities are included. And this month we have, Toronto and Montreal both included, 25% off business class. Now, the thing I've noticed though, availability was sparse this time compared to the last few months. These flights are filling up. They're offering these promo rewards. So if you can find, availability, you can be flying for as little as 41,250 miles one way out of Montreal or Toronto on KLM to Europe, North Africa, and Turkey. Great deal still. Love to see 50% come back, which we probably will in the winter, just like we did last winter. But right now for flights over summer and early fall, the 41,000 one way is a really good deal. The question is finding availability. You might have to pick one city to fly into in Europe and then one, a different one to return from. They said I was only finding one or two. When I searched Amsterdam and Paris, the main two connecting points, and I found one or two availability, flights that were available per month over the next 4 months. So there wasn't a ton in there. Hopefully, you guys have more luck, or hopefully, that's the thing with Air France, KLM, they're always adjusting their availability. It seems like at 1 minute there won't be any, and then an hour later there's going to be 3 or 4 flights available. So if you are searching for these, don't despair if you don't find anything. Go back and check later in the day, the next day, because availability with them does fluctuate quite often. So that's that. And then the last thing, the biggest news of this week, was the new offer on the TD Visa Aeroplan Infinite card. Biggest bonus ever yet on this card in terms of points. 70,000 points worth $1,050. Now you do have to pay 2 annual fees because it's not first year free anymore. And to get the full bonus, you have to get the spend over the whole year to get the anniversary bonus. But still, 70,000 Aeroplan points, a great deal on this card. If you bank with TD and have the all-inclusive plan, it'll cover your annual fee. So you that way you're getting the full 1,050, value of that. That's a minimum valuation. That's my 1.5 cents per point. If you're going to redeem for business class, you'll probably get 2 cents, 3 cents, or even more. So that just bumps that value up immensely on this card. And this offer is available until September 5th. It is, like I said, the biggest or highest point bonus we have seen on this card ever, at 70,000. It reminds me when I was just, a few weeks ago when we were talking about the revamped credit card charts on our site and how little the bonuses or how low the bonuses were when those charts launched in 2004. And now here we are getting to these record bonuses of 70,000, 100,000, 115,000. This market is just crazy, but it's great for the consumer. You can rack up a lot of points to use for your travels. Granted, the redemption rates are a lot higher now too than they were, 20 years ago. But, so I guess it's kind of all relative. But I'd say right now we're still in a better position than things were 20 years ago because you're earning more points per dollar, bigger bonuses. And the rates haven't, they've increased, but they haven't increased that much for a lot of the popular type of redemptions. So again, I'll have the link to this in the description. Check it out. The TD Aeroplan Visa Infinite card has its highest ever bonus of 70,000 points. It's available till September 5th. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them now. I'll stay on for about another minute or so here. And if no questions come through, I will end the stream. Yeah, so it looks pretty quiet right now. So what I'm going to do, I think we will end the stream here. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in live and any of you who are watching after the fact on our site, on our YouTube channel here. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe and hit that like button, and we'll